Bedwars is a game created in May of 2021 by the game studio Easy.gg, based off the highly successful and popular Minecraft hypixel minigame, Bedwars. The concept of both games is to defend your bed, collect resources, and break the bed of the opponent. While this idea is fairly simple, Bedwars quickly became a complex and unique game containing various modes, kit mechanics, and more. The game quickly experienced rapid growth, with already popular YouTubers like Bandites, Tanker, Rectway, and more coming to Bedwars to create new and original content. With new updates releasing almost every week and averaging up to 100,000 concurrent players every day, the player count just kept rising. Bedwars was in its peak. Weekly updates, various game modes, hundreds of kits to choose from, exciting mechanics, and a competitive and active community. How could this game possibly begin to die? During this peak time for Bedwars, every player was inexperienced. Therefore, newer players had little disadvantage and skill-based matchmaking wasn't necessary. As the game continued to grow, older players began to have huge advantages over newer players. Some players tend to say that the problem with Bedwars is that the game is too pay to win. This is simply not true. The only overpowered kits in the game as of now are unavailable for purchase, having only been available in the earlier seasons. This gives older players massive advantages over new players. Considering that all the current meta kits for ranks include kits such as Aerie, Caitlyn, Noelle, Metal Detector, and Sheila, which are all unobtainable, no new players can progress in the game and start playing competitively. However, the reason games like Bloxfruits, Adopt Me, MM2, and Brookhaven have stayed alive over the years is because of how friendly they are to new players. No matter how good a game is, old players will always get bored and move on from the game. It's inevitable and happens in every game. The difference with Bedwars is that there is a little amount of new players coming in. Obviously, a game cannot grow if no new players are coming to the game. Another common standpoint on why Bedwars is dying is because of the bad updates. While this is understandable, Bedwars is one of the only games, at least on Roblox, that updates weekly, showing that the lack of content is really not an issue for the game. And although some weeks the updates may be boring, there will always be another update for the next week. As well as the already stated issues, exploiters are and always will be an issue in any competitive game. In addition to the lack of interest in anti-cheat systems at Roblox, EasyGG also seems to care very little about getting rid of cheaters in-game. If you didn't know, AC moderators aren't paid. Everything they do is completely voluntary. This has been backed up by almost every AC mod in the community, showing how little EasyGG values keeping the game hacker-free. As well as this, the staff team for Bedwars also has extreme biases. This not only includes bias when banning players, but also bias regarding the demotion and privileges of other moderators. Bedwars is objectively dying. There's no denying it. However, there are very simple and easy things that devs can implement to revive the game. To solve one of the main issues, a greater skill-based matchmaking system is necessary. The devs have told us that when queuing into matches, only that of the same level can queue into the same lobby. However, I can instantly disprove this by queuing into a game of regular solos on my main account. For reference, this account is decently high level and has over 5,000 wins overall. It is absolutely unfair for all of these new, low-level players to have to be queuing anyone with this much advantage over them. Clearly, skill-based matchmaking has to be prioritized over faster queue times. Recently, a tutorial system for new players has been added. This change does make it slightly easier for new players to understand the game. However, once they've passed this tutorial, there's still going to be no competition for all the tryhards they'll be queuing afterwards. As well as showing new players the basics of bed breaking and economy features, they should also be shown the mechanics of PvP. Instead of using an idle dummy character, a player that actually moves around and fights back would be better to use. As said before, most unobtainable kits are unjustifiably overpowered. There are a variety of solutions for this issue. The first one being balancing. Every second week, Bedwars buffs and nerfs certain kits. However, these balance changes feel random and unpredictable, as if the devs are just buffing and nerfing whatever comes to mind. If the devs want to create a game that is fairer for new players, one option could be making every kit of the same class equally powered. This means that there are no trash kits, but also no insanely overpowered kits. If this change is undesirable for the devs and community, old unobtainable kits should be made obtainable again. These kits should be easy to obtain through purchasing for around double the cost of a normal kit. I understand completely that many old players wouldn't agree with this change. However, this contributes to a far more equal and skill-based game, which encourages further growth for Bedwars. The final option would be to leave all the old kits and buff all the new kits. This could create new metas for ranked and introduce new playstyles, generally making the game a little bit more interesting. This would also cover for the lack of new players, as why would anyone play the game if every good kit is in no way obtainable? Often, players complain about not having a satisfying enough update each week. Regardless of this, an update each week with actual changes is extremely rare in most games. This is part of the reason Bedwars has remained constantly a front page game for a few years. Despite some updates being better than the others, we still have a new update to look forward to each week. To fix the issue of hackers, Bedwars should begin paying their anti-cheat moderators to increase the amount of time they spend banning hackers. Bedwars should also hire new AC mods often to complement this. As of recent, there have been a few new AC mods added, however, most of them are in the American time zone. So mods in Oceania, Europe, and Asia time zones would be incredibly useful. Including this, a dedicated Discord server should be created and linked in every Bedwars game under the report button, where users can ping a moderator and attach a username, so the AC mods can join faster when required. Bedwars was far more alive when everyone was equal. Nobody had insane advantages over each other, every player was a new player, so skill was far more of a factor than kit diff. Season 11 is only a few days away from release, and if the devs don't listen to the players, this could be the final downfall of Roblox Bedwars.